Let's look at the lesson for the week of June 16th, Order of Operations. First, let's take a look at the Order of Operations review just to go over the order that we use when simplifying expressions. You may have learned it in the past as PEMDAS, or P for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, S for subtraction. I don't teach it that way because, first of all, we're going to start using other grouping symbols besides parentheses, and I've given you some examples of brackets that you might see in some of the problems. Secondly, when you look at multiplication and division from left to right, it may be division first and multiplication second. So you don't look for multiplication first. You go from left to right in the expression, and if division comes first, you solve the division problem. If multiplication comes first, you solve the multiplication problem. Same thing with addition and subtraction. When you get to that step, you look for addition or subtraction, whichever one comes first from left to right in your expression. So let's take a look at the video notes. Okay, number one, 32 divided by 4 plus the quantity 3 times 7 times 18 plus 5. So the first thing we're going to do is look for anything in grouping symbols. Since parentheses are grouping symbols, we'll take this part first. In order to keep from missing parts of the problem, you should go ahead and rewrite everything up to this point. So 32 divided by 4 plus 3 times 7 is 21. Times 18 plus 5. So now that we found what we have for grouping symbols, the next step is to look for multiplication or division from left to right. Notice that I have a division problem and I have a multiplication problem in this expression. But I don't look for multiplication first. I go from left to right, and whichever one comes first is the one that I do. So 32 divided by 4 is 8, plus 21 times 18 plus 5. Once we've done the division, the next thing we look for is any multiplication in the expression. Well, I have a multiplication problem, 21 times 18, in the middle of the expression. So 21 times 18. We're going to have 8 plus 21 times 18 is 378 plus 5. Once we get to this point, we've done all of the grouping symbols. We had no exponents. We've done the multiplication and division. And now we look for addition or subtraction. It's all addition, so we just go ahead and add everything together. So 8 plus 378 is 386 plus 5 is 391. So the answer to the problem in number 1 is 391. Let's take a look at number 2. Number 2, again, we're looking for grouping symbols first. Once again, we have a problem in parentheses or grouping symbols, so we'll do that part first. So we have 5 minus 4 plus 4 times 2 times 28 divided by 7 is 4. Once we've done that, we look for any exponents. Seeing none in this expression, I look for multiplication or division. And I see that I actually have two different multiplication problems. I have 4 times 2, and then I have 2 times 4. So I'm going to move from left to right. So 5 minus 4 plus 8, 4 times 2 is 8 times 4. We'll finish the second multiplication problem. So 5 minus 4 plus 32. And then we do subtraction or addition from left to right. So we're going to start at the left, and the first thing we have is subtraction. So 5 minus 4 is 1, plus 32 equals 33. So the answer to problem number 2 is 33. Let's take a look at number 3. Once again, we'll start with our grouping symbols. So we have 7 minus 4, we know that's 3, and then times 9, plus 2, plus 54, minus 6. Now notice that I am showing each step of my problem and I write everything down each time. I do that for a reason. First of all, to keep organized, and second, so that I don't make any simple mathematical errors. And I will expect you to do this on your work as well for your problems that are going to be due when school starts in August. So now that we've done our grouping symbols, we'll look for multiplication or division. So I have 3 times 9, 27, plus 2, plus 54, minus 6. Now that we've finished our multiplication and there is no division, we look for addition and subtraction from left to right. 27 plus 2 is 29, plus 54, minus 6. 29 plus 54 is 83, minus 6, 77. Let's take a look at number 4. In number 4, we have no grouping symbols, so we'll just start from left to right and we look for multiplication or division first. So I'll rewrite everything else. 4 minus 3 plus, here's my first multiplication problem. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 28 divided by 7. Now I'll rewrite everything until I get to the division. 28 divided by 7 is 4. And then left to right on the addition or subtraction. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 plus 10 is 11. 11 plus 4 is 15. Keep in mind that I don't want you using a calculator for this because you will not be allowed to use a calculator on the quiz in August. However, if you would like to check your work, you may do that. Just make sure that if there are grouping symbols, you use grouping symbols on your calculator. And also keep in mind that anytime there's a negative number, and I don't know if there are any on this, but anytime there is a negative number, that negative number would need to go in parentheses in order for the calculator to calculate the problem correctly. All right, let's take a look at number 5. Number 5, I can see that we have grouping symbols and exponents. So we're going to do what's in the grouping symbols first. So we have 8 minus 4 squared. So we'll go ahead and do what's in grouping symbols. I still have another set of grouping symbols, so I'll leave my 4 squared divided by 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 7. Next step, because the next step in our order of operations is exponents, we'll do our exponents. 4 squared, remember that 4 squared means 4 times 4, so 4 times 4 is 16 divided by 8 plus 7. We finished our exponents, so we're now looking for division or multiplication. 16 divided by 8 is 2, plus 7, and 2 plus 7 is 9. Let's take a look at number 6. Number 6, we're going to do our what's in parentheses first. So we have 2 plus 7 is 9, divided by 27 divided by 9, plus 6 minus 2 times 2 squared. Now remember, if I'm moving too quickly for you, you can always pause the video, take your time to write down what you need to write down, and then come back to complete. Next set of parentheses. So I have 9 divided by 27 divided by 9 is 3, plus 6 minus 2 times 2 squared. Next step is our exponents. So I'll go ahead and write everything down again. 2 squared means 2 times 2, which is 4. And now I'll do division, multiplication, left to right. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, plus 6 minus 2 times 4. Now I've run out of space, so I'm going to just make myself a little arrow and write it up here. So I have 3 plus 6 minus 2 times 4 is 8. 3 plus 6 is 9, minus 8 is 1. So the answer to number 6 is 1. Several more steps there. Please take your time, write each step one piece of the expression at a time. Later, when we get better at doing order of operations and I feel that you're comfortable with it, I will allow you to do more than one step at a time. Number 7. This time we have grouping symbols within grouping symbols. So whenever you have parentheses inside parentheses, the first thing we need to do is go to the furthest ones inside. So we have 27 divided by 4 plus 5 in parentheses is 9 to the fourth power minus 8 times 6. 27 divided by 9. So now we need to keep going on the parentheses, and the parentheses say 27 divided by 9, which is 3, raised to the fourth power minus 8 times 6. Now remember that 3 to the fourth power does not mean 3 times 4. It means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. So we have 3 to the fourth equals 81, minus 8 times 6. So we've done grouping symbols, we've done all of our division and our multiplication, our exponents. Now we look for division or multiplication. I have 8 times 6, so 81 minus 8 times 6 is 48. 81 minus 48 is going to be 33. So the answer to problem number 7 is 33. Let's take a look at number 8. This time, not only do we have parentheses inside other parentheses, but we also have exponents inside. This is a time when you sometimes have to go out of order. So the first thing you want to do is go to those parentheses furthest inside. Here are the ones furthest inside. So we have 8 squared minus 3. Well, in order to do what's inside those parentheses, we have to do the exponent. So 8 squared means 8 times 8, which is 64, minus 3. And then we still have minus 7 plus 12. So now we can do what's inside those parentheses that are furthest inside the actual grouping symbols. So 64 minus 3 is 61. Minus 7 plus 12. Now we need to do what's in these grouping symbols. So 61 minus 7 is 54 plus 12, and 54 plus 12 is 66. All right, let's take a look at number 9. This time we have parentheses inside parentheses, and then we also have an exponent inside the parentheses. So the first thing we want to do is go to those furthest to the inside. So 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 4 to the third, divided by 8, minus 5. Remember to keep writing each step. So now we're going to look inside these parentheses. Well, in order to do what's inside these parentheses, I have to know what 4 to the third is. So I have 8 plus 4 to the third means 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Times 4 again is 64. Divided by 8 minus 5. Now we need to do 8 plus 64. Well, 8 plus 64 is going to be 72. Divided by 8 minus 5. We've done exponents, we've done parentheses. Now we're looking for division or multiplication. 72 divided by 8 is 9. Minus 5 is 4. Okay, last problem. Number 10, 7 minus 2 plus 45 divided by 9 minus 4. This one goes back to one of the easier ones that we were working on earlier, where we have a division in the middle. 45 divided by 9 is 5, minus 4. And then we are down to just subtraction and addition, so we go left to right. 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. All right, now that you've gone through the video notes, you should have a good had a good review of order of operations. It should have reminded you of things that you did during the 7th grade and during the 6th grade as well. So take your time and go ahead and work homework number 2. Remember that that is the sheet that's actually going to be due in August.